Welcome to an episode of the Girl Boss Method podcast hosted by myself, Richie Bra. And for today, we have a very, very special guest. Her name is Kristina Carlson. And Kristina is based here in London, but she does lots of traveling and everything for work as well as she has done. Kristina, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, hello, I am based in London, but I'm originally from Norway, but I've been here for about 13 years. Before that, I was 10 years in Spain. And so my journey has been everything from working as a what can I say, working in as a waitress. Then I was, my background is dance and drama. So I was a ballet teacher in Spain. And then I came to London and I worked a lot in sales, which I still do for fashion accessories. And I also started going into the movie world as an extra and then did lots of commercial work. And then a few years ago, after having about 6 years under my belt, actually being one of your students, I would say,
Yeah.
I decided to take up the journey of becoming a Pilates instructor. So that's been my journey, really like squeezed into a really quick summary.
And actually, even just listening to that, I feel like I've learned so much more that I didn't know about you. So I think that's really interesting that you've got a background in teaching dance yourself and being a dancer.
Yeah,
And obviously that translates really well to Pilates because that's what Kristina does now. Kristina teaches reformer Pilates at various different studios. And I thought it would be really interesting to bring Kristina on because she's a girl boss in her own right. She's, working for herself. She's a mother as well. She's working in various different industries. And the fact that you've done the sales stuff, and that's again in various different areas, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
retail and
yeah, definitely. It's been sales within beauty, in the beauty branch. It was organic skincare, and then it turned
mm,
into fashion accessories. But it's always been self-employed, more or less. So
yeah,
it goes along with the fact that, I have 3 kids and I've got to be here more or less, but I do love traveling as well. So I want to braid it all in together. And I want to show the kids as well that it's important to follow your dream. Doesn't matter. I'm almost 50 and I recently just
you look
changed my career.
amazing. You look
Thanks.
amazing.
Pilates. No, so I basically, so it's just, continue. You never know where your path will take you. And so I think that's important for them to know as well. So going forward, that would be a message specifically to never be bound down by, the norm around you. Break through if that's your dream.
Yeah, of course. And coming into sort of back to Pilates and everything, tell us a little bit about your journey. How have you become a reformer teacher now?
Okay, so I think, I started about 6 years ago, just as a fitness thing for myself, and then really loved it. And I attended classes maybe almost every day because it became an obsession. And I speak to so many people now, and that is the word often comes up, is that it does become an obsession. And so then lockdown hits us all, and I decided to have a little rethink about my life.
Mm.
What could I do until the day I die, wherever I end up in the world? And that was going to be my obsession. Of course, it would be Pilates. And so, therefore, even though I do suffer from ADHD, I thought, okay, how am I going to sit down and study at this age and with everything going around in my head and in my world? But I did it during, at the end of lockdown. I sort of just, okay, that's it. And and then I just kind of like got into it, so thinking this is it. And I studied, and I wonder how people can do it if they do it alongside work, because I was lucky enough to be self-employed, so I can actually sit down and study a lot of the time,
Mm.
because it did take a lot. You're thrown back into the, almost being back at school with all, biology, the whole going back to basics about your body. So it's a lot to study, more than I thought it was. But it was fine. And it was just, even to this day now that I have my qualifications, I still think wow, every day I learn something new. And that's the good thing about it. Even though we are here to teach and help people, we still learn daily, thanks to the
Mhm.
people that show up to our classes as well. You know, so I think that's a really good thing.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love that. And so I think that's really interesting as well that you've followed your passion and you've taken it and made it a career as well.
Yeah,
And I think it also, with you almost being 50, again, I'm just going to say to anyone that's listening, Kristina looks far from 50. She is absolutely stunning. When I first saw her in my classes, I was like, oh my God, this woman is gorgeous. And she literally is. And she's such a nice person, though, as well. Just such a warm heart as well. So always smiling and always happy, etc.
thanks, Trish.
Yeah, no worries. But yeah, coming back to fitness as well, like how do you feel like that's shaped who you are today?
So I think from the very young age, you know, like I went through the whole of dance world. So it was very much classical ballet from the age of probably 4. Then I went into the Norwegian Ballet Academy. So, and that covered a lot of genres of dance. So
Mm.
that's always been in my blood, anything, any form of dance. But that also includes, you know, you have to be fit and healthy to be able to, you know, to show up on stage or to, you know, do classes with people. So health is so important to me. So then, of course, now that we are hitting, you know, the menopause and all this fun times, you know, the body starts to change in a way. And I thought, okay, I'm getting niggles in my hip, in my shoulder, in my elbow. And so then you start into looking into, and I'm very much anti anything that has to do that's not natural, basically. And so um not to really, you know, sell the reformer that much, but I do believe that is actually what kind of healed any niggles that I had. It's sort of, it strengthened me galore, and that's how I can bring the message on to my clients that come. And for because it was worked so well for me, I can preach until I'm blue in the face because I know it works.
Yeah, yeah. I know. I totally agree with you there. I was a lot younger when I started teaching reformer myself, but I did find that it was something that I wanted to get into Pilates teaching, etc. It was like a natural progression as well for me in some ways. Coming out of like working with people in gyms, in like physio, I worked for a couple of physio clinics as well. So just that whole movement perspective, and it does bridge the gap between you know, things that people might do in like regular fitness classes and like the rehab side as well. So I think it's so supportive. But I think the main thing that I found with reformer, I think it becomes very accessible, that it's
Yeah,
not something that you just do because you know, for rehab, or it's not something that you do because you just like it. I feel like it's, again, it's a form of activity, it's a form of fitness, it's a form of resistance training that can benefit so many people.
yeah,
And I think when we come back to the mindset as well, Kristina, I feel like for women, you and I have obviously grown up around sport, like in some way, you with dance and me with gymnastics when I was younger and athletics. So like I think for us it's very easy for us to just kind of go, well, yeah, we're this age now, and yeah, fitness is easy, and it, you know, or I found this type of exercise and it made me feel good. But there are so many women out there that have never had that access or that route,
mm,
or they've never
yeah,
had that interest from a young age where
I
they
agree.
adulthood, and all of a sudden it's like they are getting these aches, pains, and niggles. And yeah, see, yeah.
And I think it's very much word of mouth. Once this gets spread, you know, I have clients coming, maybe they're in the 70s and they've never done anything much. And they're like, oh, I've heard about this. The bed looks daunting. The bed looks scary. They're like, what is this? And then they realize it doesn't matter what, and it's not a cliche, it doesn't matter what size you are, what age you are, or what experience you have. The reformer and Pilates in general is for anybody. And it truly is. You know, a 16-year-old girl has just started with me this week and she hasn't done anything before. And I know that this will be her life throughout. And it will maintain her being fit throughout if she stays with it. And you know, the same, like you said, you know, anybody who has a little bit of curiosity, I always say,
Mm.
just go. It's not as scary as it looks, because it does look scary, especially when you've got the tower attached to the bed and
Yep.
everything. They're like, what is this?
Yeah, yeah.
So
What
yeah,
sort of torture chamber is this, right?
yes,
It
yeah,
does definitely look very strange.
yeah.
And actually, the first time I went on a reformer or even saw a tower, the first thing I thought was like, what was that? Like S&M, like some
Yeah,
weird sort of
exactly.
contraption. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think around that time there was that weird movie as well, the
Oh,
one
it
that was at
was
the
it the
book.
50 Shades of
Yeah,
Grey?
that's the
Yeah.
one. Yeah, there you go. And I was like, what is this? And yeah, I think again it's great that Pilates, yes, most of us in this country especially have experienced the mat work stuff. Reformer is becoming more popular, and I feel like it's now allowing women access to that if they've never done exercise before as well, but access to resistance training in a way that is non-scary, it's accommodating, it adapts to your body, or you can change things and modify things
Yeah.
on the reformer that you might not be able to do with like mat work or even just regular gym training. So I feel like it really does bridge the gap there as well. But yeah, coming back to the scary thing as well, men often think or have the assumption that Pilates is just, it's either
Yeah. Just
easy.
for women, just is it just for
Yeah.
women? Is it just for pregnant women? Is it just for yeah, it's all these questions. And then more and more now, and it's going viral at the moment, which is great. You've
Mm.
seen all the celebrities, you've seen Ronaldo, Harry Styles, Sylvester Stallone. I mean, the list goes on at the moment.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
loads doing it, and I think that spreads. And so I definitely see more and more men showing up. I have one, he comes every Thursday in his lunch hour, and his body has changed, and he knows, and he says it himself. He's like, I have changed. I'm like, yes, you have. Look how strong you are, going straight up into that long spine. So, so it's brilliant to see that
Yeah.
they realize it's tough. It's not easy. It's as tough as we make it.
Oh, 100%. Exactly. Because it's all about connecting with your body as well. It's not just
Yeah,
doing the movement.
yeah.
And yeah, and thinking about sort of mindfulness or even just like mindset as well. Have you seen a change in like the people that you've trained as well, even maybe even in yourself in terms of how it's transferred to other
Definitely.
parts of your life just by
Oh,
being
definitely.
physically active as well?
Yes. But even just um, for the mindfulness factor, I mean, just many people show up saying, oh, I just need this today. Can I just lie on the bed? Can I just have my feet in strap? So many people, as soon as they get in, they switch off from the real world. And
Mm.
we need that. And I remember for myself as well, it was therapy. It definitely was therapy. So many realized also this is your hour to switch off, breathe. Breathe the
Mm.
right way, and you will be transported into another level with your body, basically. And it's just for your health, for your healthy mind. It's amazing.
Yeah. And what do you do yourself for physical activity? Do you just do the reformer or are you sort of
I
quite
do. I
hybrid?
do. No, I do lots of walking. But I'm very lucky to be able to jump into classes wherever I am. So I make sure I have time for that because I love it. It was my love first before I
Yeah.
started teaching. So I maintain going to classes a lot.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And do you feel like with you continuing to work on yourself, your body and your mind in that respect, how do you feel like this translates to, being a self-employed, having yeah, because you work in many different areas. So how does it fit in with the rest of it? And what does that do to mentally strengthen you when it comes
Okay, so
to yeah.
yeah, well, it's a lot, like it's a lot of many people are like, oh God, how do you do it? Because I am all over the place. But I think that's part of the condition of being the person I am, that I do need a lot of things to go on at the same time. That's how I thrive. And so therefore I know that certain days are just the teaching days. And then I have some days that are just dedicated to being on the laptop, to being the salesperson of me. So then I know that. And then also, for traveling, they're going to fairs for the sales jobs. That's fine. I get people to cover my classes, and then I still get to do that because I do love being a salesperson. So so that I have to say, I do feel blessed in the fact that I don't do anything that I don't enjoy. And I know, I know a lot of people, hate going to work, and I feel for them. And I know that so many people have to, and so I do count myself lucky that everything I do is because I've chosen to do it and I love it.
Yeah. Right. Do you know what? Similarly, the same for me. So obviously, you know that I have the girl boss method, right? And so I
Yeah.
help women with like the nutrition, the fitness, that's my coaching program. But, not many people know this that listen to this podcast. I've touched on it here and there, but I do still see people for reformer. So I still teach a lot of one-to-one reformer. And similarly to you, I have days where I'm literally on my laptop, and then other days where it's just you're seeing clients, back to back. And I absolutely love it. And it's so funny that you mentioned about how you work mentally as well, you as a person, because I feel like I'm so similar. And it's maybe why we connected so well. But similar to you, I feel like I need to be doing different things, and it just helps my brain go. And it adds in the excitement, it adds in the variety that I feel like I need for my life as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I absolutely, yeah, I love that.
Mm.
Yeah, so when it comes to like working on your own fitness,
Yeah.
um have you been through any sort of like transformational things yourself, like whether that's mind and body? Have you ever sort of,
In what sense? What do you mean, kind of thing?
so have you ever come from a place where you've had to push yourself to with fitness to like just really get on top of it and make a change?
Not really, to be honest with you. I have not in the fitness aspect, but mostly in the mental part, yes, but not
Okay.
in this one. Yeah.
Yeah. And do you feel like the fact that you're engaged in regular activity, that's helped you as well? That's been there as a pillar to help see you through life.
100%. That's been the savior, really. And
Mm.
that's kind of and I believe a lot of people use. You see the people who go to the gym all the time, who are obsessed and going to the gym. That's for their mental health as well.
Oh
That's
yeah.
definitely.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
and you've been through that stage in your life too.
Yeah, yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, definitely. Again, it comes from the whole thing of keeping things exciting and having goals as well, and knowing that there's something around the corner that I want to aim for, or I want to
Yeah.
try and like work hard at. And it's having those periods within life as well where you do kind of go, right, this is coming up, and I just want to now, I want to put my head down, and I want to get on with it. So I think having that tunnel vision can really help as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Where do you see yourself in the future, Kristina? Like, so obviously we know where
Good
you are in the here and
question.
now.
So ideally, in the future, I see myself on an island somewhere because being warm is vital for me. So
Mm,
suffering at the moment, we're almost like in June, and I'm still not feeling that warmth very much.
yeah.
Um, so I see myself on an island, maybe the Mamma Mia style, but not so much bed and breakfast, but more like a little health retreat where I've got my reformer beds and where I've got a chef that makes lovely food for the visitors. So it's a little I see myself running a little retreat somewhere warm.
Oh, I love that. You make sure you invite me, because that sounds
I need you. I need you
amazing.
to come, and also, to be there as a yes, you will be there as a guest, and you'll be my guest speaker there.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much. Kristina, is there anything else that any words of advice you can offer people that are maybe a bit wary about engaging in physical activity? So whether that's, walking, or it's joining the world of Pilates, reformer, the gym,
Yeah.
anything that
Okay.
you
So,
can.
it's never too late to start. That's a
Mhm.
really important thing that people, but also remember how easy it is to make excuses not to start. So put away the excuses, plug your music into your ears, and just, it doesn't have to cost a lot. Walking is free. Go find a park, just walk in circles, just listen to the music, breathe, be be present, and then take your stepping stones and decide, what do you want to do? Do you want to build muscle? Do you want to tone? Do you want to work on, growing your heart into a bigger muscle, to start running the marathon? Whatever you will choose to do, don't make the excuses, just do it.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. Kristina, thank you so much for joining me. It's been short and
Thanks,
sweet.
Rishu. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, very, very insightful as well. So yeah, I don't know if we've mentioned it, but I used to teach Kristina reformer, or she used to come to my classes.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's how we
the
connected.
beginning.
Yeah. But if you would like to follow Kristina, maybe find out a little bit more about what she does and her Pilates journey, it's Pilates_KK on
It's
Instagram.
Pilates by _KK.
Okay, there you go. You've got it.
Brilliant. Thanks, Rishu.
Thank you. And for those of you that have been listening, this has been the Girl Boss Method podcast. You can follow me on Instagram as well. Please reach out, ask any questions. Let me know if you want to know more about health, fitness, nutrition. You can find me on Instagram at Rishu Bra, and we'll see you here next time. Thank you.